Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome back again. My name is Craig, and I am one of your recovery coaches here at Capital Recovery Center. And as always, it's great to be here sharing some good information. And I hope when you listen to or review this information on your own time, you will see the importance of why we talk about uh, alcohol and drug addiction. And so September is Recovery Awareness Month, Substance Abuse Awareness Month. And so we just want everyone to know that we are thinking about them and those who are in early recovery, those who are long term recovery, and those who may still be uh, dealing with the issue of addiction. We are here in support. And so today I'm going to bring you an article, um, and it's brought to us by it says FHEREHAB.com. And so if you want this material, please go online. Once again, I'm going to spell it out. It's brought to us by FHEREHAB.com for HAB. And so I hope I'm not mispronouncing it, but if I'm pronouncing it right, hats off to me. And so without further ado, let me get right into it. And so I don't believe there's no other house cleaning business. So today we want to talk about something. This is, by the way, a family meeting. To all those who may be watching, this is a family meeting. And so we're going to be talking about how addiction impacts the family, the stages of progression. And so this is our family support group, and we're going to share a little light. So I'm going to read a little introduction. Introduction says addiction doesn't discriminate, and having a cohesive, loving family background doesn't exclude someone from becoming an addict. While it can be difficult to understand how someone ends up in the throes of addiction with such a positive and supportive family, or how a family can end up in the place of cutting the addict off, understanding addiction as a family affliction can provide some insight. So it says, understanding addiction as a family affliction can provide some insight. And so the article made mention of 6 phases of addiction as a family affliction. While every individual and family dynamic is different, addiction follows a common pattern. Here are the 6 stages of family addiction and the role family members commonly attempt to take on during each. And so we're going to cover 6 phases of addiction as a family affliction. All right. And so the first one talks about, excuse me, denial. Denial. This stage is exactly what it sounds like. The family member tries to deny that the chemical addicted individual, CDI, has a problem and may start by initially just trying to ignore the addiction completely. There are usually attempts to hide the addiction from people within the family, but also from people in the outside world. Family members might be may be concerned about what outside people would think about the family, such as what must those parents have done to raise a child like that, and might experience intense feelings of embarrassment. In this state, the family will usually gladly accept the chemically addicted uh, individual. Let me see if I'm right. CDI, right? Chemically addicted individual reason for using drugs or drinking and will only react to inappropriate, whatever that might mean for that family dynamic drug use. All right? So that's the denial aspect, right? So sometimes we may try to say hide it as a family member because we might don't want people to know the family dynamics or the family situation that there's a loved one that's suffering from addiction. And so a lot of times it happens. Let's put it like that. It happens. People try to conceal a lot of things that may be going on in the household and try to do what they call a in-house rectifying or cleaning or try to straighten everything out before it spill out into the public, right? And then you may have those people who may view the family as a failure, or may say, "Oh, the family didn't raise the person right," or family didn't get involved at an earlier stages. And so there's a whole host of dynamics. And then the family may feel embarrassed, that their loved one is going through such things, especially when you did all you can. You might feel like, you know, what have I done? What have I? What did? Where did I go wrong in the process? And so there's a lot of aspect, but that's the first one we dealing with, and that is denial as a family unit. And so the article says the family will usually gladly accept the chemically addictive individual reason for using drugs or drinking and will only react to inappropriate, whatever that may mean for that family dynamic drug use, right? And so we must not negate or try to handle things on our own. And so the next one talks about number 2, home treatment. This stage happens when the addiction has progressed to the point that denial is no longer an option. The family might begin to try to get the chemically addicted individual to stop using, right? Talking about home treatment. Common tactics family members take at this point are to nag or threaten the addict about what will happen if they don't stop. Family might try to sympathize with the addict as a way to establish common ground and push them toward quitting drug or alcohol use. During this stage, the family members might start to show signs of the emotional effects of living with an addict, right? Now they become drained. They don't, try all that they could do. So wear and tear begins, all right? Then it says they often start isolating themselves from friends and activities, experiencing an increase in fear of people finding out and blame themselves for the addict's problem. Children in these situations might start acting out and respond to the family's stress, right? And a spouse or significant other might take on a model role, excuse me. At this point, the total focus of the family is on the addiction. And so the family dynamics have begun to shift, and so the emotional aspect may come in. People fear people finding out. If there is a child who witnessed a parent that's going through addiction, they could be taking a toll on their viewpoint or relationship, how they interact in the world and how they respond to the world. And if it's a spouse, sometimes the role can be reversed. And so there's a lot of factors to consider, but this article talks about 6 phases, right? And so we're going to talk about the 6 phases we just talked about. The first one was denial. The second one, home treatment. The third one, chaos. Chaos. When the family gets to this stage, it's impossible to deny or hide the addiction. The family is often existing from crisis to crisis, just trying to survive, right? And so there may be a lot of people who are going through the same thing, who may have a loved one. You know, you probably threaten them, you probably told them all types of things that you would like for them to do to get better and healthy, and suggest going to some type of program to get help or speak to a professional person, whatever the case may be. But now things are going from one crisis to the other. Because a lot of times people go to these programs and they get well for a while and relapse, as we understand it in the field of addiction, that relapse is possible. All right? Relapse is possible. And so, not saying that it will, but a lot of times it is possible. And then it becomes one crisis after another. Right? So the family members might start trying to directly control the addiction by throwing out drugs or alcohol. And there's a general feeling of skepticism and hopelessness. The spouse in this stage might start avoiding sexual contact with the addict, feel caught between the loyalty to their children and their spouse. They could also start to question their own sanity. It's common at this stage for the families to seek outside help through programs like Al Anon and Nar-Anon. Okay, so Al Anon, I believe, deals with the alcohol aspect, and Nar-Anon deals with the narcotic aspect. So the fourth one we want to talk about, excuse me, and that is attempts to reorganize. Attempts to reorganize. Once again, we're talking about how addiction impacts the family, the stages of progression. All right? And it says, attempts to reorganize by this point the spouse or another family member, in the case of an unmarried addict, has taken on most of the family responsibilities. And the addict is eased out of family roles and takes on more of a childlike role, right? Family members might start threatening to separate from the addict and begin to feel a love and hate conflict in the relationship. Adult family members start to gain more independence, and children are the focus of many decisions. It's important to understand that these stages aren't always linear, and this stage in particular can be repeated several times, or the family might stay in this stage for a while before moving on. Okay? And so we understand this is not only a phase, but it's also a stage, especially when it comes to addiction and the family model. And so a lot of times it may take time, it may take certain levels that a person may need to grow, to be able to comprehend some coping skills, some life skills, techniques, and then sometimes they may need medication. And so there's many factors or many options that one can, beyond Al-Anon and Nar-Anon, because a lot of times support groups is very good, but also the person that's really going through it, from what I've been reading, is that showing a person love more so than being threatening can go a long way, right? And so I want to encourage anyone that's watching this or have a loved one that's going through it, stick with it, stick in there, do all you can, and also find someone that you can talk with to help you through the process, all right? And that way that you don't feel that you're all alone. Sometimes I know it may be hard to share this type of, especially when it comes, like the article says, you may have a loved one that you don't want outside to know about in-house affairs. So that's a choice you will have to make, how you want to go about it. But I always suggest that when I say we, I'm in recovery, so a lot of times we as a family unit of people, we need help. We need one another to to know that you're not just going through it by yourself. There's other people who have gone through it or who have been through it, who have uh, referrals, who have networks that you can reach out to find help. And so we recommend all the help that's necessary that you can grab hold to, utilize it, take advantage of the help. And we are here for you as well. All right. And so the fifth one we want to talk about or to share some information from the article, and that is reorganization without the addict. Pretty interesting. This stage happens when the family finally cuts the addict out of their lives and decides to move on without them. This is the point where the family stops enabling the addict. Let me read that again. This is the point where the family stops enabling the addict. While this stage holds many positive options for the family, including continual movement towards independence and a change in codependent behavior. It's important to recognize that these positive steps usually only come with outside help and a strong commitment to changing behaviors. Family members who don't get outside help may find themselves cycling back to old patterns when the addict escalates or hit that rock bottom phase, right? And so enabling is a hindering. If people don't know what enabling is, and that can be a hindering to someone getting help, getting well, getting healthy. And so the article says find someone that can help you along the way, outside help or strong commitment to changing behaviors. All right. The sixth and last one talks about recovery and reconciliation. Reconciliation, excuse my French. All right, recovery and reconciliation. While this stage may be seen as the end goal, it's often one of the longest phases in this cycle. It can be an ongoing process for years depending on the family dynamic, events surrounding the addiction, and the severity of the addiction. Right? At this point, family therapy comes into play with a focus on reunification and learning new ways to respond to each other. And so, what I'm reading here and what I'm understanding is that, during the addicted person stages of going through alcohol or drug abuse, there can be some surrounding events that surrounding the addict, the addiction, and that could be from any types of breaking relationships where barriers has been broken, bonds have been severed, and so now we're talking about reconciliation, and so they're saying that it's very helpful to have a family therapy. Family therapy comes into play with a focus on reunification and learning new ways to respond to each other. The article says changing patterns of behavior and family dynamic can be very difficult. So it can take months to years and may include some setbacks along the way. Okay. Sometimes we may think that everything is going hunky-dory, smooth and dandy, all that good stuff, and then boom, an incident or a setback may come, and now we may be back to square one. But that don't mean that we should just give up. Keep fighting, keep loving on the person, and do all the best you can to get the person the help that they need. Right? Um, it says changing patterns of behaviors and the family dynamic can be very difficult. So it can take months to years and may include some setbacks along the way. It's important that family members seek help through an outside source to work through this phase and increase the chance of positive outcomes. Discussion at this point surround what led to the addiction and the family separation. Now you're getting down to the meat and potatoes, getting down to the root cause of why the person started using in the first place. All right? How to rebuild trust, very important, and how to put the chemically addicted individual back into the family dynamic. Okay? And so people heal on their own terms, and we cannot tell a person how to heal and how fast to heal and all that good stuff. So bear with people. People be affected different ways. They heal different ways. They may forgive in a different way. It may take, as the article says, it may take months. It may take years. So be understandable, be patient. All right. It says it can be difficult for the spouse to give up the control they develop and be willing to trust and give the chemically addicted individual more responsibility. But this is an important part of moving forward. Many families will continue to be a part of Al Anon, Nar for the support and help and not reverting to codependent or enabling behaviors. Okay? Keep in mind that while this is a general outline of the common patterns of addiction as a family affliction, it is not comprehensive. Many families deal with other factors or go through the stages more slowly or quickly than others. All right? Some even go through them in a different order. If you or a loved one who is struggling, right, with an addiction or substance abuse issue and you're not sure how to get help, all right, it says it's best to seek help and work with a support group and find out what works best for you. All right. And so once again, we're talking about, as you can see it going strolling across the screen. I hope it's not blocking, but it says how an addiction impacts the family, the stages of progression. We just covered 6 phases of addiction as a family affliction. And the first one we covered was number 1, denial. Then the second one we discussed and shared was home treatment, right? And so the third one dealt with chaos. Fourth one, we talked about attempts to reorganize. The fifth one talked about reorganization without the addict. And then the sixth one, we just talked about recovery and reconciliation. All right. And so that's it for this week. And I hope you got something out of it. And please join us next Tuesday at the same time. We have some more intriguing information to share with you on the issue of addiction, how it affects the family. Also remember, September is Substance Abuse Awareness Month, and also suicide awareness coming up. I believe it's part of this month as well. And so those two are 2 major issues that we are concerned with, and we do all that we can to help in that area. And so feel free to give us a call. You can contact us here at the office, and we love to hear from you. You can call us at 856-391-7449 or 1-800-236-2448. That's our hotline. And as always, how can we help you with your recovery today? Until the next time, stay safe, love on someone, and don't feel that you are alone in this area of addiction. All right? Until the next time, have a blessed day. My name is Craig. I'm one of your recovery coach, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.